Alrighty, let's see. Testing, testing. All right, I think we're good. All right, what's good, everybody? So what I'm looking for here, hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What I'm looking for here is really just looking at overnight action. We've had some bullish moves higher here. I like how we reacted off of this fair value gap right here overnight. We had a dip lower, and then we had a change in the state of delivery on the hourly time frame right here, leaving this fair value gap that we ended up delivering into overnight. You can see right here. This delivery took out London low and created SMT inside of this hourly fair value gap. So I'm looking for this to stay intact. I'm looking for this to be a protected low as long as we stay in a buy program. And where are we targeting is up here for me. This previous day high, relative equal highs right here. I think this could be the last push for the week um, up here, and then potentially get like a TGIF setup if we're going to retrace from the weekly expansion because it has been pretty much a straight bullish week, right? Big wick down and then move up right here. So I'm looking for just a final push higher to finish the week for the final target. um, so as always, at the open, I'm looking for some kind of manipulation lower away from my draw on liquidity. This right here would be like the first low-hanging fruit buy side target because overnight there was some really big, or not overnight, at 7 a.m. Eastern time, there was some, I don't know if this was news or something, but huge wicks in both directions. And so to me, this is kind of acting as like a data wick high right here. The data wick low is sponsored, meaning it traded into that hourly fair value gap, took London low, has that SMT. So again, looking for that to stay intact. Um, and right here, this 15-minute fair value gap is interesting to me going into the open. If we could see like an inversion on the lower time frames here, delivering off this 15-minute fair value gap, I think that'd be good. And then I want to look at SMT as well, happening somewhere in this area. But we'll see how New York Open happens. And really, if this inverses, um, we could really just be going lower for the morning, honestly. So yeah, we'll see how we react here. Yeah, so big move off of that 15-minute right there. Okay, so NQ took this high right here. There could just be some volatility to start us off for the morning. I mean, if it just takes off right here to my first target, I'll just have to sit here and wait. But what we could end up seeing is like a take of the high, take of the low, kind of just hang around here. So I don't want to like get overzealous and just hop on the first thing I see. Um, Honestly, if we didn't have that 9:30 a.m. volatility, if we inverse this fair value gap without closing all the way above here and taking out these highs, this would have been a good long to get positioned for the target buy side. But again, I don't want to hop in right at the opening bell. I want to let some of the volatility play out and then go from there. Yeah, so after this got taken, just to move right back lower, SMT at these highs. Relative equal highs up here though. So even though there is SMT right here and I am overall bullish, I'm not thinking, okay, we have SMT right here, we should be going lower for the remainder of the morning. Just gonna wait for some more structure down here to get made. So I don't see this as like a protected high right now. It's just the initial high of the morning. But yeah, also gonna be aware of it being a no news Friday, and sometimes that can cause for some really bad action. Kind of similar to a no news Monday. Good morning, I have a question. Is the 30-minute fair value gap from the previous day's sell-off at the close not relevant right now? So to me, it's not entirely relevant. It's definitely something to look out for, so I guess you could say it's relevant, but I'm not looking at this right here. What I'm looking at is what have we done most recently overnight, right? Because think about it like this. This happened yesterday, but then what has happened since then is overnight. If we look at structure, we had this change in the state of delivery right here on the 1 hour time frame. Low, high, lower low inside of this fair value gap right here, and then displaced through leaving a fair value gap. So now to me, that indicates that we're in a buy program or in a buy model, and these are relative equal highs up here. So with this higher time frame information, you could assume that as long as we keep respecting bullish fair value gaps, this could potentially inverse, which would spring us up higher. So that's why I'm not thinking, okay, this is a big bearish fair value gap right here. I want to see us go lower. It's because we have a clear draw on liquidity being equal highs at the previous day high, and we've been respecting bullish fair value gaps overnight. So I'm just looking at what has most recently happened. And then if something like this 15-minute were to inverse, and then we start breaking structure lower and leave like 5-minute fair value gaps, then yeah, that would probably play a part of my bias of where, okay, we did end up respecting this 30-minute. It looks like, we could do something like target this low right here, but that's not in the books right now. For me, it's bullish. But yeah, it all relied on this 15-minute right here. But that's a good question because that's something that I dealt with a lot in my past is um, kind of struggling to find that structure or bias when we have like some things that seem to be conflicting. It's just all about recognizing the current order flow and what your draw on liquidity is. Draw on liquidity is the most important thing in trading. Don't even need an entry model, technically, right? You should have one, but if you're thinking of just like straight draw on liquidity, that could honestly be enough. Drawing towards that first target right here, never got an entry. I could have taken this 3-minute, but I did not like how this internal high got taken right there. So if we didn't have this wick and we closed above this 3-minute without taking this high, that would have been a good long in my opinion to target at least this high right here. But now I think what ends up happening is we probably take this high right here if we don't have any kind of retracement right now. Hopefully we leave some kind of like 5 minute fair value gap if that happens. Retrace back into it. People are probably thinking we're gonna go short, get some kind of lower time frame entry right here, and then target previous day high. So this is, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Without even seeing that the 5 minute time frame, it looks like we're already creating one right here. This would be a bearish or a bullish order block. Want to leave this open right here. So for 2 minutes, I don't want to see price go lower. I want to see an imbalance left on this time frame. 5 and 15 minute fair value gaps are really important for me. Gonna set some alerts on ES at this high, and then also at previous day high. Because I could see a couple different scenarios happening. We're we deliver long until previous day high. NQ takes out previous day high. ES fails to do so, and that causes a TGIF retracement. If we're gonna have a retracement. I think this high, once this high gets taken and we get a retracement here, I bet a lot of people are going to be bearish and try to short. I'm just going to want to wait for a retracement, stick to my bullish bias, and go up here. But I don't want to see it take this high and then just continue to run off. So really just looking for a continuation here. Need to see this left open. It's fair value gap SMT right here on the 5 minute. NQ failed to touch this 5 minute. ES did. Okay, so we just got to return into that right here. Need to see how we react here. If we go and take this low again, I could still look for longs. NQ's the leader, meaning it's stronger. It's taking highs a lot easier than ES. So it's good to be long in this market right here. Just digging into this 5 minute fair value or a 5 minute OB. Want to see the midpoint of that. Midpoint of that's important because we could, like we're allowed to be wicking really far outside of this fair value gap right here is because we have this order block. But once we start making our way past this midpoint, that's when I'm not as interested. Okay, yeah. So this fair value gap will be important. If we get a inversion of that, that could be a long opportunity for me based on my model. Pretty small range right here, honestly. So yeah, this will be like the condition for me. If we can inverse this, that'd be good for longs. If we fail to inverse that and we use it as resistance, we could go down, take this initial low of the day, because this is liquidity right here, and then the long setup could form from there. So I'm long as we keep holding this 15-minute. And I would honestly prefer that we go down here because that would give me a more discounted um, entry opportunity if we are to form something down here. Reacting off that midpoint. Okay, yeah, so this should get swept. Now, if we can see a buy form here, that'd give me a more discounted entry, which I would like. Hit the midpoint of that 15-minute. This is a really big rejection wick, but in my opinion, all it did was engineer buy side. So at this point, just waiting for a SIBI to form and then have it get inversed. There could end up being SMT at these lows right here, which would make the trade even better. ES goes down, runs these lows. NQ continues to hold. All right, so no fair value gap opportunity there, unless it gets made on like the 2-minute. Or like the 4 and 5. That would still be feasible. So yeah, I just want to monitor how we're reacting to the midpoint of this. I also want to mark out the midpoint of this wick right here. Yeah, look how we're reacting off of that. So midpoint of this wick is important to me because it's a long, exaggerated wick in alignment with this 15-minute fair value gap. If I had a 30-second chart, I bet there's an entry here. Not forcing anything. A lot of buy side left intact. But already looking like a high resistance liquidity run day. Just look at how these candles are constantly overlapping each other in big wicks on the 15 minute in both directions. So yeah, so we got a 4 minute. Do we have a 5 minute? We'll see in a minute. Right now, the 4 minutes my highest time frame for value gap. So that would technically be an entry if we inverse it. And look at something like this. I like this reaction we're seeing from the 15 minute though. So yeah, again, really everything depends on holding this 15-minute fair value gap here. And the best longs are going to form as long as we hold the upper portion of this on a closing basis. Meaning the wicks can go down here and tap below, but I want to see the bodies really stay above like they've been doing here. As soon as we get a body closure like below the midpoint, then it's really not as attractive to me anymore. Probably about 5 minute here now. Yeah, we do. One more stab lower would still be okay because it would be allowing ES to go down here, potentially make SMT. This is already telling me that price action looks bad. So gut feeling tells me that I already want a lower risk today. All right, so I bet ES. Okay, wow, it didn't take it. This is fine though. It could still be creating the wick. So I really just gotta wait. Like this could all be manipulation because we still got 7 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. So either we really are bearish or we're just creating the lower portion of the wick right here on the 15-minute. Um, we have 10 a.m. in 7 minutes. So now there is SMT here. We have a tiny 1 minute right here. Unfilled 5 minute right here. So if we do end up getting an entry, that could be a good place to go break even. If we inverse this, I will go long though. I'm gonna switch over to the micros just to get ready. Be looking at something like this. Okay, so we did inverse it. I'm long there. This would be a good place to go break even. Plus we have 10 a.m. opening coming up. I take off the majority up here because that's already pretty good risk to reward. So I could take off like 4 right there. And then I would leave a runner up here. But the further it can go away from my entry before 10 a.m., the better because I need to leave some breathing room for an open low high close on the hourly candle. So we have this 1 minute BISI right here too that we would want to see hold. Preferably the upper portion is sensitive. We're during the macro time too. Could be seeing a 10 a.m. reversal. So this low's at 9:53. This would be an order block. So just want to see continuation through that. It would support higher prices. Want to be aware of any kind of like fair value gap SMT here. Okay, so we did just hit that on ES. Need to see follow through here. Okay, nice follow through. I want to put my stop loss up right here under this low because it's an internal low and we have this order block right here, so that's why. I could, once we like hit up here, then I'll move it to break even. But I like how we're moving higher before 10 a.m. because it's giving, like I said, my trade breathing room to withstand the open high low close or open low high close, preferably. Last contract will be taken off up here. So overall, it'll be like a 1 to 2.5. Yeah, I can really move to break even now. I'll screenshot that. For the journal. So we're still in this 5 minute. This is like a breaker here. Starting to get a lot of drawings on the screen. I don't really like that, but I just want to do it for like if you're visual learners, for a visual learner's sake. Okay, so there's 10 a.m. There's that open low. Need to see this leg hold right here. Whoops. I'm gonna take this off the screen just because it's distracting. So I want to know when ES takes these. When's the opening high? That's the most important one. So 930 is right there. I want to know when ES takes this high because I'll have to monitor really close how we react there because there would be SMT at the initial high of the day. Okay, so good follow through there. Once we close above this, I'll be very confident we go up here. So I'd want to see that act as an inversion fair value gap in a market maker buy model here. Sell, buy. Whenever we're in the buy model, I want to see PD arrays that were used as resistance during the sell model get traded through and act as support. So notice how it's used as resistance right here to go down, take these initial lows, manipulation leg, low risk buy. So I want to see this inverse. gotta stay calm and confident whenever it's getting near your draw. Trust that your analysis is right. Worst case scenario, goes down, hits break even. At the end of the day without losing. So the midpoint of this right now is kind of holding. We're seeing some displacement away from that. So SMT at these lows right now, now I would want to see this start to really go. Let's just compare with ES. Really clear buy entry right here on ES. Honestly, a lot more clear than NQ here. This is like classic 2022 model. Equal highs up here. Sell side liquidity, SMT. Order block paired with a fair value gap. Institutional order flow entry drill. Not really sure what the hell that candle is. So order block's the last line of defense. That's why my stop loss is below it. But hopefully that's just a manipulation candle and we continue higher. All right, so it should just like I just want to see it sprint because that should have been just a really big manipulation leg right there. This is fuckery Friday, right? So I think I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with the volatility. Um, we did close above that. So now I would assume this would be confirmed manipulation and we should go higher right here. I'm honestly debating. I was debating on moving my stop loss to the, or not my stop loss, my take profit to the rejection block right here and just leaving the runner up here. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. No, I'm gonna leave it. Stop loss is moved to the low of that manipulation candle. All right, I am gonna move this to the rejection block right here because that volatility and with it being Friday, honestly, is just making me uncomfortable. But I'm fine with my runner being left up here. Because I don't want to see like some engineering of highs, then have it reverse, kind of like that. All right, so ES is really starting to push here. We should see a final push higher. Wix did the damage, still held this inversion. Tough Friday price action. Midpoint held. Definitely an uncomfortable trade to be in. But I'm leaving everything as is right now. I'm not gonna move anything. It's tough because I was really like what I've been doing recently is leaving take profits at the rejection block instead of the highs just for low hanging fruit objective, not like asking too much, and I didn't do it this time and I'm paying for it, but my overall bias was higher. I just I recognize the bad conditions. Like I've been saying the entire morning, I'm not liking the conditions we're in, and I just didn't really adjust my targets based on that. Oops. I'm getting a feeling that we dive below here and create SMT, and I hope that ES is the weaker one and takes this and creates that bullish SMT. But I mean, if we were in good market conditions, this would have been hit already. This is just not great. All right, so we'll see if this holds. We really need to start pushing here now. It's really doing its work, making sure that no one's going to be involved in this run higher. Can't believe I didn't get taken out on this move lower, honestly. Oh man, this is not fun. It's funny, I had the best trade of my career during a week like this where it was just super shitty price action. Damn, that sucks, man. That sucks. Damn, I really wish I had my take profit at that rejection block. It's like it's something I usually do and I didn't. It's fine though. It's just one trade. See, my entry was right here, stop loss right here. I got to a about to a one or about to a one to two, but I wanted to see that high get hit, so yeah, just tough. Not the end of the world. Just really doing its work today. We'll see if this is just one last manipulation lower. If not, then the bias is wrong, but I'm still bullish for sure. We even inversed this 5 minute too. Like that's just crazy. It didn't hit. Okay, so really last line of defense is this 5 minute right here. Taking out this intermediate term low. And then we would be expecting this to just be a wick on the 15 minute. Taking out this 15 minute intermediate term low. Got a 2 minute right there. As of right now, 2 minute would be the entry if we inverse. If we close below all this and then create a 5 minute fair value gap and we inverse this 15 minute, which is likely going to happen, then these lows become unprotected. I'm already on the side of not wanting to participate anymore because I'm pretty pissed off from that trade, and price action's not looking good. And I don't want to do anything dumb going into the weekend. But yeah, we were 4 points from profit, move 2R. Just leaving a bunch of highs intact. So if it doesn't do anything, or if it doesn't take these, and it's just leaving buy side for either the PM session or Monday. But right now we're honestly looking bearish. Honestly, hope for sell side sweep at like 2140. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like if it takes this low, then all of this is just unprotected. Like I would consider these relatively equal. Um, I see what you mean though. Like buy side was just really like buy side was so obvious, but just conditions, like based on the conditions. That was my fault for having my TP at the high instead of the rejection block. It's something that I don't usually do. I was just really confident. I had a lot of conviction in my draw and liquidity getting hit, but um, I mean, honestly, I don't even think it was like a dumb thing to do because again, these are relatively equal. We were so obviously bullish, but once I saw this candle right here go so close to my break even and just a huge manipulation out of nowhere, I think I literally said at that point, like, I'm uncomfortable with the volatility. And that's when I was really debating on moving my take profits right here and just trying to take the most low hanging fruit fresh threshold as possible. And I was just too slow with it. I hesitated. And yeah, I didn't expect this move though. I was really expecting up here. But sometimes you get it wrong. Yeah, so this ended up getting taken too. Yeah, I just got caught in a fat reversal. Like we even inversed the 1 hour right here. Everything was looking so good. It was looking so good. And then this just comes out of nowhere. That's crazy. Like it wasn't even supported by any SMT either. And I mean, ES failed to inverse this, but like that doesn't make me expect this type of move because NQ is the stronger leader. In my mind, ES was just a sixth sister. But again, we're just ranging. Like I had mentioned this in the video I just posted in breaking down my trade from Wednesday, that we're just ranging right now. And so that should have been another factor in not asking too much for highs to get taken. That's when it's a really good time to just target like rejection blocks and stuff like that because liquidity is just going to be getting constantly engineered. And so it makes it even lower probability that highs are going to get ran, just from my experience. Yeah, like this is just a tough week. Um, Really, it was like I profited this week, but it wasn't like as much as it should have been based on just the poor conditions. But now this leg down is just like too too aggressive for me to just switch and be like, okay, now I want to look for longs. Like it could just be we switched into a sell model and now I want to wait for like a retracement and then continuations lower. Where's previous day low? Oh, it's all the way down there. Wait, no. Yeah, it's all the way down there. Um, this is just kind of looking chalked. There's no clean 5 minute fair value gap. There's just a bunch left in this leg lower. Um, I can't get too emotional about that trade though. Like that's a trade that I'm taking 10 out of 10 times. And it was break even. Like it's not like I took a loss or anything like that. So I protected myself. Um, just had a lot of conviction. Ended up not working out. So sometimes it'll be like that. Much better that price continued lower versus hitting your stop and going to target. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That would have sent me fucking on a. That would have just made me so mad. I would have had to turn off the charts and I wouldn't be able to look at it anymore because I know that I would go in and do dumb shit after that. I'd chase price. I would, and that's like a part of knowing yourself and how you can prevent yourself from doing dumb shit like that is you got to recognize like the environment that you're in. You got to know your own tendencies that cause you to derail and prevent you from seeing the progress that you want to see. Yeah, story of my trading career, right? It's like so that's the first step is you know that's something that can send you on edge. If that happened to me right here, I would have had to turn the charts off because I know if I sat there and kept looking, I would have done dumb shit. So you just have to recognize when you're in that environment and walk away, especially on a Friday, man. Like the worst feeling is going on tilt on a Friday and going into the weekend. Just you have to sit there and let it rest, knowing that you did shit that you shouldn't have been doing, um, had bigger losses than you should have. When it's better just to reset, go into a new week, accept that it was just either a bad trading week or a bad trading day, and move on. And I think one thing to kind of think about too is knowing one that you have to do that, two doing it, and the first time you do it, it's going to be super, super uncomfortable. Like you are literally going to have to take yourself away from your chart by going on a walk outside, going to the gym, just being anywhere but your chart. Because for me, if I was like in the same building, I would need to go and look at the charts and see what was going on. See like, is price moving in my direction? Am I missing it? And if I was staring at the screen, I was going to take a trade. Like I was just going to do it. And so the first time you actually successfully take yourself out of that position and walk away, again, it's going to feel like it's impossible. Once you do, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm a lot happier going into the weekend. I know that ended up being the right decision. This is a huge step in my trading career. This is a huge step towards profitability. Um, and then maybe next Friday or another Friday rolls around and you do the dumb shit again, and then you're like, okay, I mean, it happened again. Are you gonna let it derail you? Are you gonna let it set you back for who knows how long? Are you gonna carry it into the next week? Or are you gonna recognize that you were able to do it before, you can do it again, and then just keep making adjustments along the way? That's really what trading is. Till you get to a point where you do it so much where it just becomes second nature, right? You gotta make discipline a habit, and it's one of the hardest things to do. That's why not everyone can do this. Curious how you came across ICT. That's actually kind of funny. Is before I traded ICT, I traded like supply and demand. So just like little candles followed by big candles, like quote unquote indecision. And then this would be like a supply zone right here, which in my opinion is just bullshit. Um, and so I was trading that for a while, ended up blowing out, just realizing that this is just not for me. Like I don't see this working consistently, or I just can't handle the like I can't trade this way. It's just not. It doesn't make logical sense to me. But I was in trading groups in the past and stuff like that with people who were trading similar to me, trading supply and demand, and sometimes I'd see people post their charts with a fair value gap marked on it, and they would always say fair value gap, and like that word, like I saw it so much and I didn't know, like I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't know anything about ICT. I was like, what the fuck is a fair value gap? Like that name honestly is just annoying. Like it's not real or anything like that. And it was so I kind of just ignored it for a while, but once I eventually ended up blowing out with supply and demand trading and stuff like that and feeling like I was back at square one, which I really was, and it was a couple years into my trading journey where it was just like I felt like I was back at square one, which is a super defeating feeling. Um, I was just on YouTube and I saw a link to, or I saw a video for the 2022 mentorship, and I was just so desperate at that point. I was willing to try anything out. And then once I saw those concepts, it just made logical sense to me, right? It actually had validity behind it. And, went from there. I think I watched the 2022 series in like a week. I was just hooked. And I think what really did it for me, it was just something like I'd never seen before. What really like hooked me onto ICT was seeing his videos, like his not live trade videos, but he would make recordings of his trades and he would type out like need to see speed and momentum here or like wait for speed and momentum, and then you just see a candle absolutely shoot off, and it was like how the hell did you know that? That was really the thing that like sparked my interest, was being able to read it like that. And I wanted to do the same thing. I was like, that has to be a transferable skill. Like I need to be able to learn that. And it was just like I was willing to do anything to be able to have that type of knowledge on the market. And so yeah, today or this month is actually the 2 year anniversary of when I started to learn ICT. So I mean, it's night and day of what I'm able to do now versus looking at a chart before knowing the concepts. Self-taught. I mean, if you would consider that self-taught, I guess, but I also joined like um a couple mentorships for like a month or two. Like I joined Zeus's, if that's how you say it, Zeus's mentorship for like a month. That didn't really do it for me though. Like not disrespecting him or anything like that, but I never saw live trading. Like his concepts were just kind of like I mean they were ICT concepts, but he claimed to have like what do you call it? Price cycles or time cycles and shit like that, 90-minute cycles, and I, it's really just marketing in my opinion. Um, so I did that for a month. Just picked up a couple things there. I learned more about market maker buy models and sell models. So I'm not saying that I didn't learn anything from him. I definitely learned more about market maker models, which is a big thing in my trading now. So, um, I have him to thank for that. And then I also joined um, PB trading, Pat and Blake, and that's where I really learned about inversion fair value gaps. So my main teacher was ICT of like learning the concepts. Obviously, um, I haven't watched like any of his new content because I already have my model now, but I'd spent the most time studying ICT. I have hundreds of hours watching his material and stuff like that. But as far as like people who are teaching his concept goes, I only joined a mentorship or two and picked up what I could from them, and now I have, my way of trading and my model. But yeah, I have my own Discord now for free. I do live trading, so I only do live trading sometimes on YouTube, just really when I feel like it. I'm going live in my Discord a lot. The link for that's in the description. Again, it's free, but what I'm doing in there is I'm calling out price. I give my pre-market analysis and bias every single day. I We do trade breakdowns, we do weekly breakdowns. So I really just try to put everything in there that I would want as a new or developing or learning student or just someone who wanted to be in a community because trading alone is not fun. Like I spent a lot of time trading alone before like joining some kind of community and it's just miles better. And honestly, like the Discord that I have now and like that community, honestly, in my opinion, like my honest opinion, it's worth like 150 to a couple $100 in value per month. Like I put a lot of time and effort into that, so yeah, I realized that too. He said, yeah, I have to say the Discord is really nice, but because of the time difference, it's hard to follow the live sessions. And that, like, yeah, I recognize that, and that kind of sucks. Like, there's not too much I can do about that because I'm in New York time. Like, I'm not from New York, but I'm in Eastern time. Like, it's 10:46 a.m. for me right now, and you know, I try to work with you guys, but it's tough. I feel like the majority of people in there, we got about like 20 people now, but the majority are like 8 hours ahead. I am watching to see how we react around here. I want to be really, really careful though. I only want to take something that's extremely obvious because I'd rather not go into the weekend with a loss. But inversing this 5 minute could clear a path to at least this 1 hour right here. Because we took out Asia low in this 5-minute fair value gap, and we're starting to see displacement higher. So I would have to go break even right there. I think I will try it, but I'll definitely go low risk. $10.50 macro here too. So really, this is where I gotta go break even, is because of that hourly 15-minute. Wait, it's not an hourly. No, it's a 15-minute. Whoops. Still though, this is a pretty clean setup. Low key, I do expect it to get break even once we hit this, but I can't go for like a like negative R. Best case scenario, this is just all manipulation below Asia low, and I mean we could be getting like an 11 a.m. reversal, but we have this huge imbalance right here. So if price is gonna go lower, it's just gonna do something like this. But I want to mark out EQ of this range, from that high to that low, and that could honestly be like a good target. That's still bad RR. Yeah, it's below 1. I could do like, I could target the weekly open. I want to get that out of the way. It's annoying. So this could honestly be pretty good. I could pyramid, then move stop loss up here if we invert that. But if we inverse this, then I think this is very likely. That way I wouldn't have to hold for such a long target. Could hold to like the midpoint of this. So get like a 1 to 1.5. Okay, so little retracement here I'll go in. If I do, it's like right here. Lower risk. Okay, so we're in 4 now. Going very low hanging fruit target here, guys. I'm not trying to ask for too much. Okay, so ES just took that. Need to go break even now. It is an aggressive break even, but I'm just in protection mode here. We got 11 a.m. open here. 11A open. I'm looking for an open high. I don't want to see an open low because that would obviously take my break even. If we can open high, and then potentially see something like that. Damn. All right. Well, that's it for me today. I got cooked. Yeah, I'm done looking at this. So, thanks for watching the live stream, guys. Really appreciate you being here. Um, I would recommend stepping away from the charts just because this is pretty tough price action. Um, but yeah, hope you guys learned something from this. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Step away from the charts. Um, take some time away from it. Clear clear your head and yeah, get ready for a good next week. Plan on live streaming a lot more next week. Probably will do like 2 or 3 days live on YouTube. Um, and then the rest of the days and everyday market analysis is going to be given inside the Discord. So if you want free access to that, there's no charge at all. The link is in the description. It's a really good community. Would really recommend being a part of it. It's something that I wish I had when I was coming up as a trader. So yeah, take that into consideration. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in and see you next week. Peace out.